Nice. I can see now when you come to class, please use your name. It's easier. Vivo 1820. What's your name?
My name is Saad Munir.
Do you know how to change your name?
After many weeks and so.
All right, let me rename you. Tell me, what did you say your name is, dear?
My name is Saad Munir.
Can you spell it? S-A?
S-double-A-D.
S-double-A-D. Sad. All right. So I'm just gonna rename that. Good to have you, Sad. I have Cherry Glow Up. That's a nice name. Cherry.
Mazin, please mute your mic, Mazin.
All right. So that's Aisha. Aisha, how are you doing?
Aisha Dia.
I'm good, ma'am.
Good. Good to have you. All right. Nafil, how are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Excellent. Mohammed Faid, you are looking quite chill and relaxed. I like how you were sitting on the couch, like, you know, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay. Now, these are all the people I can see. Mohammed Faid, Ishan, Aman, Mazin, please switch on your cameras, boys. Why do boys, you have to ask them over and over again? But the girls, once they come in, please switch on your cameras. It will make your classes far better. You will feel as if you're part of the class. But now,
ma'am, I turn on my camera.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I turn on.
He was telling he turned on. There's only one Miss Balhek.
Okay. Mazin, how are you? Do you live in Calicut?
Yes.
Excellent.
Fine.
So how come
Yes.
I didn't see you when I came, when I visited? I didn't get the opportunity to meet you. Maybe I'll meet you, who knows, physically sometime in the near future. Okay.
Yeah, I can see in school.
All right. So tell me, I just want to have a random, I like knowing people I'm going to be working with or teaching in the next month. So let me just know something, what you think is unique about you. I'll start with the ladies first. Aisha, what would you say is unique about you? You're muted, dear.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Now that's an assignment for every single one of you. Find something unique about yourself, because everybody is unique. We all are. No two people are the same, right? You might be born the same day, age, everything. There is something unique about everybody. Your uniqueness could be a character trait that you have. Maybe you are very outspoken, and or you have a very laser way of thinking or analyzing things or understanding. There's so many things. So you take your time out and think about yourself. Don't think you are too young to start reflecting. Be a little introspective, a little, find out. I want you all to tell me what you think is unique about yourselves. So I will ask that question again in the next class. Your uniqueness could be you've got a hobby that you do that, is particular or peculiar to you, or that you do it so well. So please don't think unique has to be something that is out of the world, something never seen before. No. But what makes you stand out as an individual? That's what I'm asking. Maybe you are a voracious reader. You're such a bookworm. You gobble up books for, you eat books for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And then you read so much. Or you are a writer. For example, I know there's so many writers, but I love writing, for example. And my love for writing, or my passion for writing, and everybody knows that about me. And once they're looking for somebody to say something or write something or do something, they always come in to look for me. in a crowd of 100 and so staff. So you see that that's the trait. Oh, they want something said or something. Then where is Miss Jacqueline? They look for her. So your unique trait doesn't have to be something unknown. Do you understand me, Aisha? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But I want all of you, and this is not an assignment for Aisha alone. It's for all of you, Sad, Nafil, each one must do some introspection and tell me what they think is unique about them. All right, so now let's move on to today's discussion. I will make Mohammed Abdullah my class monitor for today. So please, because I get lost in time, so you will tell me, be the timekeeper for me. Now the ground rules, please, if you want to ask a question, you are free to use the raise up your hand on the features, or even if you raise up your hand, I'm sure I will see. Try not to interrupt when someone else is speaking. Let's all be cordial to one another, and it's a small class size. I believe we'll be all fine. And please be as interactive. I don't like monologues. Monologues means when I'm just the one talking. So if you have an idea to add, that will be wonderful. And if I am asking something, you may not know the answer, but don't just keep quiet. You can say, I don't know it. Or if I'm saying something and you're not understanding me, please feel free to say, sorry, ma'am, I didn't get that. I can repeat myself. All right? Is that clear? Excellent.
Yes. Okay.
Now, what is about the word mystery, Aman? When you're talking about mystery, what comes to your mind? Mystery. Let me write on the board. Yeah, mystery. When you talk about mystery, what do you think about? What does this connote? What
As creativity.
As what? Pardon?
Creativity.
No, that's not what it brings to mind. Mystery, something unknown.
I can't see.
Something.
We don't know. We have to learn.
Yeah, something you don't know much about and you need to understand a little more. For example, have you ever watched a mystery movie or read a mystery book?
Yeah.
Tell me about it very briefly in one sentence. Sad?
Yes. I seen that some channels that they hunt that treasures and some mystery things.
Okay. All right. Now let me give you an example. When I used to go to secondary school, I was boarding, and then in the night, we will tell each other horror stories, or tell each other fiction or tales, long tales that frighten the heck out of each of us. So we will talk about a lady that goes in the night. Nobody knows her, nobody has ever seen her, but all that you hear is her footstep going koi, 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 the way the heel goes and all that. And everybody will be so scared. We were young like you then. So I can remember, maybe it's my imagination, I'm not sure, but I'm so sure till today I tell somebody that I have heard this woman, this supposed, with the name they gave her, the nickname they will give her was Madame Koi Koi, because her footsteps was making koi, 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 and she will go only in the dead of the night when everybody is asleep. I'm not sure if it is true. I am not sure if it is just not fiction. I'm not sure but that was a mystery. It was something that was difficult to understand. And I wasn't brave enough, thank you very much, but my curiosity wasn't that immense for me to want to find out if she was real or not. Maybe it was a figment of my imagination, but the mystery is something that is difficult or impossible for you to understand or to explain. So there are some movies you would read, you would watch, or books you would read that will talk about mystery. So today we're going to read a little about a mysterious character, and let's see what he has to offer us. Okay. All right, so we're going to read about Macavity, the mystery cat. Interesting. Already the fact that he's a mysterious cat leaves a lot to be imagined. So I'm going to read the introductory aspect, and then I'll call one of you to, each of you to read a paragraph, all right? Macavity is a fictional character. That means it's made up, it's not real, who is described in this poem as a master criminal. Now, that means that there's a hierarchy of criminals, petty criminal, and the average criminal, and a master criminal. That means he must have been an expert in committing crimes. And he's responsible for a multitude of crimes. When you say multitude, that means so many, you can almost not count, because you can have some, many, lots, then you would have a multitude, something you cannot easily put a number to. The poem accuses Macavity of misbehavior that will be within the capabilities of an ordinary cat, such as stealing milk, but also responsible for major crimes. Okay, now I will just take the first paragraph. Let's see who Macavity is. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the hidden paw. The hidden paw, you know, the cats, like you have hands and legs. Theirs is called what? Paws, right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So the hidden paw. So can you imagine a cat with a hidden paw? Is it, where does he hide it? Nobody knows. For he's the master criminal who can defy the law. What does the word defy means? I would like you in class to please always have your jot pad with you or your notebook, as the case may be. So words you don't know their meaning, because you have to build your vocabulary bank. Words that you don't know their meaning, you write in there and try to find the meaning in your dictionary, or if I tell you the meaning, you write it in there, right? Like we have talked about the word mystery, something difficult to understand, right? Then defy. What is the word defy? Defy means to resist. Somebody that resists or refuses to obey the law. Defy, D-E-F-Y, all right? So he's a master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. The Scotland Yard is the body of police departments that are into investigation of crime. So that somebody is a bafflement to the Scotland Yard. What does that mean? Bafflement, Aman? What do you think bafflement means? Aman?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I understand.
Oh, you don't understand what bafflement means? Okay. Can you please write? Yes, please tell me.
Confusion.
Yeah, confused. They are confused. They are bewildered. They are not understanding this character at all. So he's a confusion, or is an issue, a challenge for the Scotland Yard. Like I said, the Scotland Yard is the police department that in charge of investigation of crimes and stuff like that. Okay, the flying squad's despair. Somebody's despair is something that gives the person a sense of no hope, sadness, and all that. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. I mean, he commits a crime, and by the time they get there, poof, he's gone. So now you can sense how Macavity is, to the extent that they are wondering, is he real? Who is he? What could he be? All right. So I've tried to give you a little background of Macavity by using the first paragraph. Sad, I am going to ask you to read the next one.
Macavity, Macavity. There's no one like Macavity. He broke every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His power of levitation would make
Levitation. What is, yeah, go ahead.
levitation would make a fakir stare.
A
And
fakir.
stare, when you reach the scene of crime, the cavity not here. You may seek him in a basement. You may look up in the air. But I tell you once again, the cavity is not there.
All right, let's analyze what you just read. Thank you, Sad. Macavity. Absolutely no one. He is unique. And I had asked you at the beginning, what makes you a unique person? Now, the unique thing is not, it doesn't have to be anything to do with crime, right? Please. But in Macavity's own case, he's a master criminal. So that's what makes him unique, right? He has broken every law. Every law that they had laid down, he has managed to break it. He has managed not to respect any of them. And he breaks the law of gravity. What is the law of gravity? Does anybody know? Have you started science?
The law of the country.
Gravity.
He is able to fly.
Pardon me?
He sounds low.
No, I didn't. Who was talking, please? Yeah, Newton's law of gravity. Have you started that already? I don't want to digress. Nafil, did you say something?
He is able to fly. He's
okay. Yeah, all right. So that's acceptable. Okay. So he is like his ghost flies or whatever it is he does. His powers of levitation. What's levitation? Right? Muhammad, what is levitation? When they say to levitate?
levitation means his powers were going good. And
I didn't get you there. I'm trying to hear you. To levitate, to rise up in the air, you know, to rise.
his powers is going through the air.
Yeah. Okay.
Gravity.
All right. So his powers of rising up, levitating, will make a fakir. Fakir is a religious person, a Muslim also, to make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is gone. When he's committed a crime, and by the time they get ring, 911, somebody has, and then they rush down to the scene of the crime, he's no longer there to be found. You may seek him in the basement. You know what the basement is, Aisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the basement of a house. Most houses in the Western world have a basement that, you know, goes beneath the first, after the main building, you go down as if you're going underground, you have the basement, right? You may look up in the air. So they look for him beneath, and then they look for him up the air. But I tell you once and once again, he is not there. So we're getting more and more a picture of who Macavity is. Not only is he a very mischievous cat, but that commits crime, but one that nobody seems to catch. Mohammed Ishan, I want you to take the next paragraph, please. From Macavity, the ginger cat.
Okay, ma'am. Macavity is a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is just dusty from neglect. His whisk, his whiskers are
Whiskers.
Whiskers are uncombed.
No, hang on. Not uncombed. Uncombed. The word bed is different. When you see an ED, you don't say You don't pronounce it uncombed. Try it again, please.
His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake.
Now, Macavity seems to be not just a character that is, mysterious and crooked, but he is a mix of juxtapositions of characteristics. He is a mix of all kinds of characteristics, that if you're trying to draw him, that will be very interesting. He's a ginger cat, tall and thin. Ginger is like orangish, right? You would know him if you saw him. So if you saw an orangish cat with eyes sunken in, his eyes are a little back in, in the socket, right?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
ginger cat means
A ginger, the color, ginger. In this case, when you say a ginger, orangish, the color of the cat is orangish, right? Orange. You know the color orange, right? Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, his eyes are sunken in, like gone a bit in, almost his brow, his forehead is deeply lined in thought. Maybe he's always thinking of the next crime he's going to commit. And his head is highly domed. When someone's head is domed, means a little rounded shape, like a, have you seen a dome? A dome goes something like that. Yeah, okay. Something as if it's almost like an umbrella-ish kind of shape. His coat is dusty from neglect. So he's also not a very well kept cat, or very well kept, whatever. He's a bit, the passage is giving us the impression that he's a little bit shabby. He is a little bit unkept, and his whiskers are uncombed. I mean, you can imagine he's not combing his hair, his clothes is filthy and dirty, and he looks like, he doesn't look like someone you would pass and say, oh, wow, look at that. He's looking so fine. No, he's someone you would look and you say, oh my goodness, where is he crawling out from? He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. Now, when you think maybe his eyes are closed and you think he's half asleep, he's actually wide awake and watching to see what next he's going to steal. So now we are, interestingly, getting to know more and more about him. Mazin, who has read the next paragraph, please?
Can I?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Macavity, there's no one like Macavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity.
Fiend.
Fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street. You may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then Macavity is not there. He's outwardly respectable. They say it is at cards, and his footprints are not found in any file of Scotland's Yard.
All right. So now again, he's still more of curiosity about Macavity. Everybody's whatever is saying is more like their imagination, because hardly do you get to catch him. Macavity, no one like Macavity. He's a fiend. A fiend is something, an evil, a demonic or character. He's a bad character in feline. So please write these words. A fiend is a character like, an evil person or an evil character. And feline is the word given to cats and animals in the cat family, the feline family.
Can you repeat that, please, Beverly?
Sorry?
Can you repeat, ma'am?
Which one? I said the fiend. A fiend is an evil spirit or an evil thing, an evil person, or demon, a horrible person. In this case, I would like to use the word horrible, right? In this context. In feline, And the feline is the word used for animals that belong to the cat family. Feline. Animals that belong to cats in the cat family are known as feline. Right?
Okay.
What
Yeah.
animals belong in the cat family you can have apart from the cats themselves? Like tiger, leopards. These are felines. They are known as felines because they belong in the cat family. Okay? And he's a monster of depravity. Something depraved means he does some really depraved
Moral.
stuff. Sorry?
Oh, ma'am, moral.
Something what? I didn't get you, Abdullah, you said?
Yeah, ma'am.
Something very corrupt, something very bad, something very wicked, depravity. So he is a monster of wickedness, a monster of corrupt things. Okay? You may meet him in the by street.
Moral.
Means like a street off the main street, a corner street. Or you may see him in the square. Usually the square, everybody, it's open, everybody can be there. But when a crime is discovered, then Makati is not there. He commits the crime and he's very smart and very sneaky and able to get away. He is outwardly respectable. These words have meanings. What does outwardly respectable mean? When you see him, he appears to be a respectable person or to be a respectable cat. His outward look does not make you think, oh my God, he's a fiend, he's depraved, he's a monster, because he looks okay. He looks like a simple ginger cat walking around. So you're not suspecting him of anything. So he's outwardly, but because you are thinking Macavity is an outward looking cat, looks okay, he's able to sneak and cheat because you're not thinking that he will cheat. So he sneaks and cheats. But let's us all remember this is a fiction. So it's just a matter of imagination and creativity. And his footprints are not found in a file of Scotland yet. So how come he manages even to, clean, he doesn't leave any traces of his behavior and his activities? Now feel the next paragraph.
Okay. And when the ladder is looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk is missing, or another pig's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken, and the trellis past repair, there's the wonder of the thing. Macavity is not there.
All right. Again, so many poor things. I mean, I don't know, maybe some other people or some other cats are committing crime, and then poor Macavity is getting given a bad name. But it says when the ladder is looted. What is the ladder? Ishan, what is the ladder?
Ladder means
It's like a store. Everybody has a ladder. In your mom's kitchen, yeah, in your mom's kitchen, she has not just the cupboard, but sometimes you have a separate store where you keep food stuff and all. All right, where you keep food.
For storing food.
So for storing of food or the jewelry case. So when he goes and steals food, either from the ladder or when the jewel case is riffled, sorry. I mean, people put their gold, diamonds and all that. So he goes, either he can steal food or he will steal from some jewelry. Or when the milk is missing, I mean, cats love milk, by the way, or another pig's being stifled. So he is simply known to anywhere there's any little crime, the greenhouse where you put plants and all that, it is, laid at Macavity's door. Okay, Aisha, can you read the next passage? Next paragraph, dear.
And when the pouring from there, ma'am.
Yeah. From there.
And when the Foreign Office finds a tributary gone astray, or the Admiralty lost some plan and drawing by the way, um, there might be a scrap of paper in the hall or on the stair, but it's useless to investigate. Macavity not there, and when he lost has been disclosed, the Secret Service
No,
say
not
it
disclosed,
must,
disclosed. All right, the Secret Service say continue.
it must have been Macavity, but he's a mile away. You will be sure to find him resting or a licking off his thumbs or engaged in doing complicated long division sums.
All right, again, not engaged, engaged. So we need to work at that. I've noticed, some of these pronunciations, we need to work at it. Disclosed, engaged, and all. Now, when the Foreign Office finds, what is the Foreign Office? Usually the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or, find treaties gone astray. A treaty is an agreement, a binding agreement between states or between governments, between countries and all that. And if they find that the agreement has suddenly is not working out as was said, or the Admiralty loses some plans and drawings by the way, and everything is laid on Macavity's door. So everybody uses him as an excuse. When they mislay their plans and all that, they say, oh, Macavity must have come, he took it. It's gone. But it's useless to investigate. Macavity is not there. And when the loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service says it must have been Macavity, but it's miles away. So they've painted up this fictitious character that seems he does every crime. And sometimes it's an irony. Maybe they are not able to solve the crime. Then what do? They lay it at the foot of Macavity and they hold him to blame. So I'm going to finish off the last paragraph. Macavity, there is no one like Macavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. He always has an alibi and one or two to spare. At whatever time the deed took place, Macavity wasn't there. And they say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known, I might mention Moon-Go-Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time just controls their operations, the Napoleon of crime. Interesting. Very interesting. This is my first time of reading this, and I find it very amusing and interesting. It's quite, if Macavity really did exist, then he would have been quite a character, right? So he's like you said, there is no other cat like him. He is full of deceit. What is deceit? Sad. What is deceit? Deceitfulness. What is deceitfulness?
Deceit.
Yeah,
Deceit.
Deceitfulness. What is that?
That have powers or like that.
What? When do
That cats have.
No, it's not. It's about deceiving, full of deception. You're deceiving someone. So in this case, he's a cat that was so full of deception. When somebody is deceiving someone, trying to confuse them, trying to trick them, that's what it is. So Macavity was full of deception and full of confusing other people. And Mohammed Faid, what do you mean by the word suavity? To be suave. Yeah, suavity. Sometimes another word people use like suavity is swagger. He's got a lot of swagger. What does that mean?
Quality, elegant,
Sorry? To be sophisticated, to have a lot of, oh, look at her, she's got a lot of swagger. You know, that's a slang. It's a slang that is used now. Somebody is suave, polished, sophisticated, right? Has a lot of swagger, has a lot of, you know, looking good. But that's a conflict, because in the other passage, in the other paragraph, he had told us that he had his hair uncombed and his jacket was dirty with, you know, from the dust and all. And now here it's telling us he was a cat full of deceitfulness and suavity. Suavity was, he was sophisticated in this case, and always has an alibi. Who has an alibi, Mazin? Who is an alibi? When there's a crime committed and you say, oh no, there's an alibi. What does that mean? Nafil? What's an alibi?
They will ask something. They will ask something to they have done wrong. Asking excuses.
Not really.
Excuses.
Alibi, when there's an alibi, when there's a crime, let's assume a crime was committed and then the police come and then they arrest two guys and the guy said, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't me. Ask my friend John. He was there with me. John is his alibi. And then the police asked John, John, were you with him? Yes, sir, I was. So it is not Peter. So John has acted as alibi for Peter. He has provided, he has agreed, or he's given evidence to show that it is not Peter that committed the crime. Do you get it? You get the meaning now? So he always has an alibi. He always has somebody who will say, no, no, it's not McCavity. He wasn't there. He has an alibi and one or two to spare at whatever time the deed took place. So whenever there's a crime, somehow McCavity is never responsible because he has an alibi that will say, oh, it wasn't him, we didn't see him. And they all say the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known. And this is when they say they all say, meaning the people of the town, who's talking about cats, they mentioned Mungo Jerry and Griddlebone. These are cats whose actions are also known. But now the cat is like a servant. These cats are servants or working for who? The Napoleon of crime. Who is the Napoleon of crime in this case? Aman? Who is the Napoleon of crime in this passage? Who's the Napoleon of crime?
The cat.
Which cat? Which of the cats? McCavity. Now, being a Napoleon of somebody, I don't know if you've heard of Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, right? The French emperor, Napoleon, that conquered a whole part of Europe back in the days. So saying someone is a Napoleon of something means they are an emperor, they are the top. And remember in the beginning, they also told us that he was a master of crime. Now he is the Napoleon of crime. So these are words that have been used to describe McCavity. Of course, you know this is a fiction and not real. And it was written by T.S. Eliot, Thomas Eliot. He was what? An essayist, a publisher, a playwright, a literary and social critic, and one of the 20th century's major poets. Okay. So any questions so far? Sad, do you got any questions?
I have a question that McCavity does not have that brilliant.
Pardon me, that Macavity is what?
The peoples and that all things are stealing and all. The
Yeah.
Macavity is not there. How he's doing that?
Now that is the mystery. Remember, the story is the mysterious cat. That is the mystery. How is he able to do all this?
That is the mystery.
That is the mystery. And now you don't say peoples. You please, people is plural, so you don't need an S. Now that is a mystery. How is Macavity able to do all these things?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, why Macavity called us a hidden home?
Where he had his hidden paws. Abdullah, what do you say?
Why Macavity called as the hidden paw?
Oh, because you couldn't, he did so fast that they couldn't see when his hand moved. The hidden paw means his hands were obviously very fast. So you hardly saw it. And maybe I'm imagining if he was snatching someone's bag, he will do it so fast and you wouldn't even see it move. Now, some of the words, a lot of the words we met are already described here. It will serve you to build your vocabulary bank by looking at those words. An alibi, excuse for something that someone has done wrong. An excuse could be another person supporting and saying, oh, he wasn't there, or she wasn't there, or he is not the person. So you are providing an alibi, right? Going astray, to go off the right path, bafflement, to be confused, deceitful, dishonesty, to deceive, depravity, wickedness, and etc. So these words are all written here already. Please try to make sure you get comfortable knowing them, because that is the only way you can expand your command of a language, by knowing the words. Don't just read them on face value and leave it. Okay? All right. Now let's look at the questions that we've encountered here. You have already asked, why do you think it's called the hidden paw? Because I believe it was called the hidden paw because his hands, his paws, being a cat, moves pretty fast and never seen. So he maybe steals jewelry and hides it. Nobody sees it moving, nobody sees him coming, nobody sees it going, right? What does the poet mean by monster of depravity? Sad. What does he mean by monster of depravity?
I think this cat is stealing like that. It's the monster of guilt.
He is super at stealing.
He's breaking every human's law and breaking of the guilt.
Yeah, he is a monster in the sense that he's able to achieve so many crimes or commit so many that they cannot even begin to think. He has done everything that the human, any crime that the human mind can think about. So depravity means, bad things, horrible things. So he's at top of it, right? How does the poet describe the mystery cat? Aisha, how does the poet describe the mystery cat? He has given so many descriptions.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
You can continue, but their time was up. It was up to 11:45. So you can just, I think you can just discuss all these questions.
Yeah, I will round up in few minutes. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you that's what I was saying. I need someone to keep a time, and I have time for me.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much, ma'am. Aisha, I had asked, how does the poet describe the mystery cat? Any ideas?
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
I don't know.
Like a very criminal.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to describe that.
Aman? Yeah, all right. You were saying something.
Like a very big criminal type.
Okay. Now, so he's used several aspects I mean, Abdullah, you had raised your hand. You want to say something, Mohammed?
Okay. Now, ma'am, the answer of that. How does the poet describe the mystery cat?
Yeah, but he's been described, if you look at the third paragraph, he's a ginger cat, tall and slim, tall and thin, right? Then he gave a bit of his physical, to describe, when you're asked to describe something, you talk about the physical appearance first, and then you talk about the other characteristics of the person or the thing. So in this case, in Macavity, his physical appearance he has given. He's tall and thin with a dome-shaped kind of head, with eyes sunken in, with the whiskers uncombed, and his, so that's his physical appearance. And then obviously his eyes look as if he's half asleep, but he's awake. Now, talking about the cat's character, Macavity's character, he's now like talking about him to paint how much of a criminal he is. He's a master of crime, right? And also he is able to do so many things, break all kinds of laws. He has the powers of levitation. He has the power of disappearing. Nobody ever sees him in the scene of the crime and all. So those are when you're asked, like I said, if I'm asked to describe Nafil, if Nafil is my friend and somebody says, describe Nafil, I'll first talk about Nafil's appearance. Nafil is tall. He has a short dark hair. He's slim. He's 12 years old. He's a nice, then, I will now start talking about Nafil's character. He's hardworking, he's studious, he's nice. So do you get it now, Aisha, if you're asked to describe? Right? Aisha, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Now, unfortunately, I've taken a bit of your time, so please try and go through from questions 4 to the end of it, and we will round up our discussion in the next class, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Any further questions?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, ma'am. Have a nice day. God bless you.
You too, and have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye.